Welcome to the Goon Squad's first 40 as I Puma along with Black Thor and Ice Water. How you doing, Black?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. How about you?
I'm great. Ice Water, how you doing, man?
Outstanding, brother.
All right. We had some sad news on Sunday. I turned on my phone Sunday morning and my phone was blowing up. Kobe and his daughter, as well as 7 people passed away in a helicopter accident in a crash. And I checked on you, Ice, because I know you are more of a fan of Kobe than me and Black. So get your thoughts and your response to the response of him passing away.
Yeah, the thoughts. I think the biggest thing for me was I thought about his family. That's
Mm-hmm.
the first thing that came to my mind. I mean, I thought about Kobe Bryant, the player, which I could take him or leave him sometimes because he kind of got on my nerves. But I respected his game because he's one of the all-time greats. But the first thing that really popped in my mind was his family and how they would deal with this tragedy, and the rest of the other individuals who perished as well. How would their families deal with such a tragic situation? And if you ever dealt with any true loss in your life, man, and particularly when you think about Kobe and other people, but Kobe's wife, and now she has $3 to raise. She lost another daughter, has $3 to raise by herself. That's tough, man. I don't care how much money you have in the world. The one thing I thought about was, damn, not no amount of money is gonna stop that pain, man.
Right.
And that got me there. But then the responses of people, I mean, give or take, some people he was their favorite player, so they were all over the situation, maybe a little overboard for some. And then those that knew him, hey, I understand it. I understand the compassion because it's like if you lost a friend, somebody's really close to me, I would it would affect me emotionally too. So I'm not mad at those individuals for that. I let them grieve the way they need to grieve. But he was he had his issues, he had his stumbles, but a lot of people knew him for what he did, and he did make a difference throughout the world through basketball. And I think, last but not least, I think that it appears as if he was a happier man,
Mm-hmm.
and he started to spend time with his family, particularly with his daughter that perished with him. It seems like when she was around, he lit up, and that was a beautiful thing to see from a father and daughter to be together like that. So yeah.
Yeah. Black, I know that when we spoke Sunday, you gave me a call, and I said this is going to put him in kind of mythical, legendary status. And I mean, it's documented on the show. I'm not a big fan of Kobe, but my heart goes out to him, his daughter, his family. We both have daughters. Can't imagine losing a daughter like that. Didn't even have a chance to live. But one word that comes to mind when I think of Kobe is redemption. Because I was talking to some people earlier today, Black. I was saying, early in Kobe's career, he could have been in jail, but he took a second chance, rebuilt his brand, did some things to try to get back to the game. It seemed like he was really kind of making amends for some of the mistakes that he probably made in the past. And the word that comes to me when you talk about Kobe Bryant is redemption. Your thoughts about passing with Kobe Bryant?
That's a good word. That's a very good word. As you said, I've never been a huge fan of his. I respect his game. I respect basically that. I didn't realize it was 20 years, but that he's been around for a long period of time, his durability. And what he brought to the game, I mean, his character, I always had some questions about. It was just tough to hear initially, like you. People were sending me messages, texting. My daughter called basically to tell me. And I kind of felt mixed when I heard it. I mean, I was saddened that for a young age, I mean, 41 is still considered, when we look at ourselves, it's young. He
Mm-hmm.
was really starting to do many different things outside of basketball. And I kind of thought about that. And I wasn't sure because I thought it was a possibility. People were saying to me, they thought that the whole family was in the helicopter with him, just not his daughter, but come to be daughter and other people. Um, I'm saddened for him, and like I said about the wife, man, raising other daughters without him, that's got to be tough. That has to be really, really tough. But I will say this, man, I know a lot of people are saying a lot of different things. They're feeling their things. They want to basically take Jerry West off the NBA emblem and put Kobe up there. I mean, to each his own. But At some point, man, for me, when I think about this, we got to stop and just think about they should have been up there, bro. And at some point, I don't know if it was Kobe or was it or the pilot, that was some arrogance to go up there on a day with the visibility that bad and put yourself, your child, and other people's lives in danger. And that didn't work out well. And I know people are afraid to say that or even approach that, but that's the bottom line. Kobe Bryant or not, they should not have been up there. And I think the decision here again, if it was the pilot or him, you realize you got kids that you're gonna bring up in a helicopter, what's a possibility, what can happen? They should not have went up, bro. They should not have went up in the air. Now I haven't heard anywhere else who else has said it. People might take issue with me saying it, but it's what I feel. Because when you're a father or when you're an adult, period, you must always think for the safety of others if they're kids. You must always put that paramount, make that first. So when you don't, stuff like this happens, and things will happen in life in general, but that's something that could have been avoided. So I look at it that way. I feel sorry for him. I feel sorry for his daughter. I realize what he was trying to do through his daughter. I think he was trying to live through it a little bit too, just my personal opinion. But at the same time, we got to start really paying attention to the decisions we make and what could be the outcome and the effect they have on us and our lives.
Okay, there's this other thing going around with changing the logo of the NBA. I personally don't agree with it. It's one of those things where it's a knee-jerk reaction. I think there'll be some people, I was talking to some people about this today. I think there'll be some opposition about them changing the logo to have Kobe up there instead of Jerry West. And I don't know. I think it's just a knee-jerk reaction. I think if folks in the LA Lakers want to change it on their uniforms, I think that's all well and good if you want to play tribute. But to change the logo, what are your feelings about that?
No, I don't think, like as I said, there was a thing about doing, I don't think that's a good idea. Like you said, I think it's knee-jerk. I'll be honest with you, man. I think the fact that the Lakers canceled games and didn't play, I think it's knee-jerk reaction. I just think that is too. I mean, I know we feel things. We all have dealt with loss in our lives. And sometimes you must pick up and continue on. You just can't basically let it bring you and ground you. So I kind of thought that was a little, I could see one game, but I thought that was a little bit too much. And he's not playing. It wasn't like he was playing for the Lakers currently. He's been retired for a year or two. He's kind of moved on. So I kind of thought that was a little bit too much. But no, changing the logo, no. DJ, I'm interested. What I find interesting too is that one person I haven't heard from, and I'm gonna say this guy away real quick because maybe he said something that I didn't catch it, but I know he wrote a book. In his book, he wasn't too kind to him. That's Phil Jackson. Yeah. And I haven't heard from all the commentary and all the names I saw that said things. I'm surprised they had Bill Belichick even comment on Kobe Bryant, but I haven't heard what Phil Jackson had to say about this, and I'll be interested to hear his response.
Yeah, same thing, man. They're talking about changing the logo. What are your thoughts about that?
I agree with Black Thor in regards to LA. The Lakers want to do something for their jersey, but to me, the factor that Jerry West has it. If you're going to replace Jerry West, they set it out because they kind of thought Jerry West was kind of what the guy that kind of epitomized what they were looking for in the NBA when they put it out there or whatever. But now, if you change that logo, you'd have to change it to me for and put up who you might think the greatest player of all time is.
Yeah.
And how do you bypass, even though he never would probably wanted it if he would never campaign for it, but how could you put, and people are not gonna like this, but I'm gonna say it anyway, how could you put Kobe over Jordan? If you love or hate Jordan, how could, in the modern day time, I have my opinion about who I think the greatest of all time is, and I may not agree with Jordan, but how could you literally replace Jerry West with Kobe because he passed away over Jordan? Because I think he deserves to be the considered maybe the greatest player of his time if you're going to change it. And everybody knows, I mean, no disrespect to Kobe's memory, but everybody knows it's Jordan, bro. It's Jordan.
Yeah. Any other thoughts about this before we move on to what's happening this Sunday? Ice?
No, again, man, just the factor that you can see the reaction that people had and what he meant to a lot of people. And the one thing I found out too that you mentioned redemption was a great word, because I found out too that he literally was at times going to, he started out with one hospital in Phoenix where a little boy that was named after him was dying of cancer. And he went to go see him before he passed. He didn't have a lot of fanfare. And then after that, he started going to different hospitals around the country visiting sick children. So redemption is right on point, and that's his own personal thing. But I have respect for that because he didn't have you didn't hear about it and didn't have to have the limelight to do what he did.
Black, any other thoughts?
No, I, mean, I think I've shared basically what I wanted to share. I mean, here again, I wish his wife and the 4 kids nothing but the best.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish them all the best. And this is a tough situation. I would say to all the outlets, ease up on all the Kobe coverage because I can't imagine being a family member and being inundated with news stories and on the sports and on the radio. I would have to turn everything off just to get some peace of mind or to try to kind of wrap my head around this when that probably never happen. But sometimes what we do in the media with this story, we overkill it too much where we don't think of the family. I know other people around the world are hurt, but the intimate family, we need to think about them and give them some space so they can heal. We're going to move on to talk about the Super Bowl. We got that this weekend. Ice, what are your thoughts about the Super Bowl? And give me your thoughts and predictions. Who you think is going to win? We had about a week and a half to think about who's going to win this. Give me your thoughts.
It's a lot going on, man. The thoughts are, I think it's just it's going to be the tell of what teams show up, what identities show up. It's kind of like Jekyll and Hyde. You're going to have San Francisco that has that rushing attack. They're going to try to move the ball again. It comes back down to something I said before about a team like Tennessee. They're going to try to control possession of the football. They're going to try to slow the game down, and they're going to try to just bully their way through Kansas City and try to, if you will, some people will say punk them, see if they can will put their will, instill their will upon them to slow the game down and win that way, particularly with a strong defense. They have the ability to score, but Garoppolo is going to have to show us something too. But then again, on the flip side, if Kansas City scores first or they get a lead, even if they come behind and get a significant lead, I think it's going to be very difficult for San Francisco to catch up. I do. So I think it's who gets, it depends on how the game rolls because we've seen both teams have San Francisco's been great at times during the year, and then at times they look like they're not that good. You watch them play Seattle, you're like, how the hell did Seattle maintain what they did and hang out with them for so long? And Kansas City too, getting popped a couple times. You're like, how did they lose that game? Anyway, but the point of it is, when I look at it overall, on paper, I would say San Francisco. I would say that San Francisco would have had the edge, and they possibly could win the game. But despite Andy Reid and his record, despite that, I think Kansas City has the weapons, man. And I think this their time. They finally got here, unless they make major mistakes. And if their offensive coordinator does what he's done the last couple of weeks or during the postseason, is recognize what the weakness of San Francisco is, okay, and use that to score points. Perfect example. 1 week, Kelsey, the tight end Kelsey, caught all kind of touchdowns. Then they were shut off the following game, and before you look up, the hero of the game wasn't Tyreek Hill, it was Sammy Watkins. You have enough weapons. Spread the ball around, and you just do what you do, man coverage, and let Mahomes do what he does, and that's how I think they win the ball game. So the prediction, I think speed kills. I don't think we'll have a 1916 football game in the Super Bowl, and I think it gives Kansas City, despite Andy Reid, their first championship.
A lot of people forget, Black, that Shanahan was the mastermind behind that team in Atlanta and went against the New England Patriots. But with all the weapons that Kansas City has, man, I like San Francisco. I like the way they put this team together and how they made it here. But you can't stop all those weapons in Kansas City, or it's going to be really hard. And then for a team to shut down Henry when he was on a roll like that, can San Francisco kind of try to that running game or run like 30 to 40 times a game and win this game?
I think people are really underestimating Jimmy Garoppolo in this game. I mean, he's played when he has to play, he doesn't play bad. They just chose not to feature him throughout the playoff run. What really impressed me about Kansas City was the way their defense, the defense coordinator made changes against Henry in the second half and shut him down. But with that being said, I look at San Fran. They do a lot of different scheming, man. And that front seven is not your ordinary front seven on defense. And Kansas City tends to get off to a slow start. They can't do that against this game. Like I said, they got to get out early and score and make Kansas City fight to try to basically keep up with them. To me, that's the only way they can win, and I'm not sure if they can do that against that defense. But I don't think Kansas City faced the defense of a front seven in San Fran. And I think another factor with San Fran is San Fran has someone that's been there before. I'm not a big fan of him, but Richard Sherman is going to find a way to will these guys, I believe, to play the defense and kind of shut them down. And when I look at Kansas City, I'm looking for someone over on that side that can kind of basically, when it gets a little tough in the game, because the first quarter is going to have to be bright lights and you got to settle down. I'm not sure in Kansas City who's going to be able to do it. I'm just not sure. And at some point, Andy Reid is going to get tight. That's what he does in games like this. He's going to get tight. You're going to take the clipboard and get a little tight. And I just don't think that he's going to allow them to go wide open like they should. And they got to go wide open regardless of what happens of any type of mistakes. They got to keep it wide open. And that's not Andy Reid in big games. I just think San Fran basically are constructed a little too well, too effective. And their schemes, man, is just, they find ways. They run like the same plays, the same schemes, but they do so many different things from it. So you think you're looking at one thing, they give you something totally different. And I think this team is they just configured it well. And what I like about them, listen, Steve Young talking, they've been on this track for a while mentally. There's no divas. They're all about one for one, about playing. They're not looking at the stats. They want to win. They got that mentality of a champion. I think they're going to take it on Sunday, man. I would love to see Mahomes hoist the trophy and have the MVP. And if it happens, I'm very proud of him. But I just think San Fran constructed a little bit too tough to basically lose this game. And I think they're going to win it the old-fashioned way. They're going to play solid defense. They're going to pound the ball and throw when they have to and create some play action. I think they're going to catch the Kansas City defense off a little bit of play action and going to do enough just to take it home.
Yeah. I'm going to predict. I know Ice went with Kansas City. You're going with San Francisco. I got to go with Kansas City. I think they got a lot of weapons, and I don't think Richard Sherman is one man. He can only guard one guy. And, you got Tariq Hill. You got running backs coming out of the backfield. You got Robinson, Hardman. You got Kelsey. You got Sammy Watkins. I mean, that's a lot. That's a tall order, and he can get that ball out quick. Then you got Mahomes who can make plays on his own. So San Francisco better bring their lunch pail because they got a lot of holes to kind of cover with the San Francisco offense. And I understand they're going to try to maybe do the same thing that Tennessee did, ball control, things of that sort. But the only concern I had in the AFC Championship game was Henry, and Kansas City just shut him down after him getting all those yards in previous games, just was able to shut him down. And I don't see a running back, even though they're quick, I don't see a running back of Henry's caliber on the San Francisco 49ers. So if they can shut down Henry, they can shut down any running back that San Francisco has to offer. And if they get in a shootout, vaya con Dios to San Francisco, in my opinion. Any other thoughts, Ice, before we move on?
I'm looking forward to it because I want to see. Garoppolo, he's going to prove it. He's been in the New England in that system before, so he has that opportunity to know what it's like to be in that championship arena. This is his time now. You got Emmanuel Sanders over there. They got from Denver. He's the top guy. You got Moses. They have a lot of people, but and their defense is really tight. But like Black Thor, you guys mentioned about Andy Reid getting tight. Shanahan can get tight too, because we know what happened after the halftime against New England. I'm just saying. So hell, to me it's 50-50 almost. Flip a coin. They both can get tight. Everybody can get tight. So we'll see.
Yeah, Black, your response before we get off this subject.
That's a good point. Shanahan did get tight in that second. I think he learned from that more so than Andy Reid. Andy Reid says, he's tight. I mean, much more time than Andy. So I'm gonna flip the coin and stay with Shanahan. I just think mentally, man, San Fran is. I think it's them. I think it's their year, bro. I think it's their year. I think they showed me something in the playoffs that's a team right there, bro. That's a team, and I'm hoping Mahomes can do it. But I got a funny feeling, man. They're gonna corral him in that pocket. It's not gonna be pretty. I don't think it's gonna be pretty. I don't think it's gonna be that close either.
Yeah. All right, let's stay with the NFL football with this, and then we'll go to some other stories because I got to get Black on this because you might not be on the podcast. Freddie Kitchens with the Giants next ball, bro. Come on, man. What? Oh, the Giants doing this on purpose, bro.
It was bad enough to Harry Garrett.
Yeah.
It was
Like
bad
every
enough to
week,
hire him.
they come up with somebody else to irritate Giants fans, man. What's going on?
I don't get it, man. I don't know if just general manager's trying to get fired and saying that I'm congratulate the general manager, the youngest general manager in the league now, which is a brother. I think his last name is Perry Anderson. And the Cleveland Browns did hire. It's a good move. I'm happy to see that. But I have no idea what the Giants are trying to prove. I have no idea. You got Grant talking about this coach is going to be, he's a no-nonsense detail. Bro, he hasn't been a head coach before. I just don't get it. To me, I think they brought Garrett in to basically help him be a head coach. Garrett was not a good head coach. So I don't understand it. Then you bring in Freddie Kitchens for what? I mean, to do what? It's like, oh, man. I saw that. I was like, you got to be kidding me. Because the Giants always kind of did stuff with a little bit of dignity. It's like they're turning into the, what's the word I'm looking for? The Jerry Springer. They're turning to the Jerry Springer of football, man. We are. The Giants are turning to Jerry Springer of football. You look at it, some of the moves they're making, you're going, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, after what Kitchens and what's name did last year, how do you bring them to your organization?
Yeah.
How? I mean, realistically, how do you bring them and think there's something that you're going to squeeze out of them? I don't get it. I mean, Garrett has showed no idea play calling. He called the plays every time for the Cowboys. What did they do? He has no idea. Now you bring him as an offensive coordinator to do what? You think the Giants players respect him? Seriously?
Right. You having a good old chuckle, man.
Woo, baby! You know what? Mentally, I have taken notes for 2 years, 3 years, laughing stock of the league and talking about Garrett isn't this and the Cowboys or whatever, them little minuets or whatever the hell you put up, them things you put up there talking about how horrible are they cowgirls. We're going to find out who the girls are now, baby. Because guess what? You went out and you hired the man that couldn't get us past the first round. So we let him go. Evidently, he must not be that damn bad because he ended up with the Giants. And not only that, you hired Kitchens. We talked about Kitchens forever, and he showed you he's not ready. But he might be good enough for a tight end as a tight ends coach, just as long as you don't let him in the play calling booth. But then again, he might need to help Jason Garrett. But then again, now you don't have Eli. You have all, so it might work. I wish y'all the best. I wish y'all the best. I wish y'all the best. But one thing is, we don't have to worry about that bullshit no more. So one thing I'll say, I don't know what Dallas record is going to be next year, but I'll bet you they'll be better than the Giants. And that's all I need.
I'll say this real quick, if you don't mind. Boom.
Take your time.
It's funny because I would assume that the Cowboys are going to take Garrett and move him into somewhere in a job or something. The mere fact they released Garrett tells you all you need to know. They released him. He was Jerry Jones' son for years, and he kicked him out. Then you bring him in.
Hey, Puma.
Yeah.
Let me say this. The real sad thing was he was like that little kid. He's like, look, you got to go home. You put him outside, and he's still knocking on the door, trying to get back in. He tried to stay till they kicked him out. Like, maybe they'll change their mind. Or maybe y'all let me do something else. Dallas said, no, bro. It's a wrap. It's been real. Thank you. God bless you. You still got your complimentary parking to the end of the month, but you got to bounce.
I don't get what the Giants are doing. I
Woo.
don't get it. But Yeah, 2 or 3 more years in the cellar for a Giants fan. So just brace yourself for it. Because if Ron Rivera, Riverboat Ron does what he does, at least they'll be ahead of the Giants. But you just don't, you just scratch your head. It's almost like the Giants and the Knicks are competing for who can make the most bonehead decisions in the administration. But whatever. The Panthers, Ice, they're going to evaluate Cam Newton. I think this might be it for Cam Newton.
Yeah, but I think they're doing the right thing because they don't have to make a decision for a while. And if he does come back healthy, he might be worthwhile to trade or something to that effect. So I think you'd be doing yourself a disservice. We've been talking about knee-jerk reactions. I think that'd be a major knee-jerk reaction because you can still trade him or cut him or whatever and still cut salary to a point. You have time. So why rush it now? It's kind of like going towards the NBA trading deadline.
Right.
You don't have to rush, but you just have to understand where you're at and evaluate. If he comes back healthy, you never know. You never know with a different quarterback or whatever he's willing to accept. But I just kind of wait and evaluate him once again when he's healthy.
Yeah. Cam Newton has been real quiet for weeks, Black, and I think this is it for him. I think that he probably hasn't healed properly. I think this is the end for him. They got rid of Ron Rivera and got rid of him. I think they're going to make some changes with that team, and I think Cam Newton is one of those changes they're going to make. Your thoughts?
I think it's the best thing for Cam Newton. I really do. I think Cam Newton's got real comfortable being in Carolina. I think after going to the Super Bowl, he just figured everything's going to have to start to come easy, and he got hurt. I understand that, but I think he needs to kind of be kicked up out of there and then fight to go to another team and start a little bit, make it happen. I think he still has it in him. I do. I think he still has it in him, but he need to be in a new situation. I think if he comes back to Carolina, he's going to fall back into what he was. I'm the man. I'm this. I'm that. Not really giving it what he should, and basically be more concerned about the press conferences after the game, the exit press conference. So I think they need to get him out of there. I really don't. I think like I said, there's no rush. See what you have. You can trade him, but I think it's time for him and them to part ways. I just don't see them going to grow with Cam if he stays there. He needs to go somewhere else. Preferably, it'd have been nice if we get him into Chicago or somewhere. But there's teams out here now that want a quarterback. Even if he goes somewhere and be a backup for a short period of time, get healthy, get back out there. He has plenty of years. He should be able to continue and play, but he needs to move on. But he needs to move on and fight for a position to play, not be given to you anymore. Because it was given to Cam. No matter how bad he pout, no matter how bad he played, Carolina just kind of moved out the way and said, Cam, this is it. No, from now on, you got to earn your keep, bro. And I think he can. But he has to have that. He has to be put in that type of situation.
Okay. I'm going to go back to you with the Dusty Baker story. Is it official that Dusty Baker is going to Houston to be their next manager?
My understanding it is, and I think it works for everybody on the team. I think they're only signing to a 1-year contract, and then they had the option to bring him back. If he can try to turn it around, the team still is stacked in regards talent-wise, and I think he's the right guy for the job. And like other people said, he's been used to hanging out with guys that are cheaters anyway. So I think he's perfect, allegedly. So I think he's perfect for the job. That's what you want to say. Barry Bonds, allegedly, and all kind of other folks. So I think he's perfect. I'm glad for him because I hope he's able to get it done. And they talk about redemption. Hope they get pissed off and win it. And then I would be laughing because I think Washington failed to really live up to their potential when he was there. And then they finally lived up to potential and won it. And congratulations to them. But I think this is redemption for the team and also for Dusty Baker.
So I'm going to go to Black in a few, but I want to stay with you on this. Is this a campaign to kind of clean up Houston's image? And, the kind of history that, you said that they mentioned, hey, he's used to being around cheaters. Was this the best move to kind of clean up the Houston Astros image at this particular point?
Probably not. No, they're trying to win, bro. You can keep that image. They're trying to get that trophy. They thought they should have won it last year. So therefore, the image stuff is all well and good. They didn't take their previous trophy from the allegedly cheating. They're gonna put that behind them, and they grabbed a man they thought could help them win that World Series. So it's nice. You might say he may not be the best as far as your publicity campaign, clean it up. You worry about that later on. It's kind of like the Dallas Cowboys back in the day. Because you got issues and problems, and we had the White House. We trying to get that ring, bro. So you go ahead and you be clean and be whatever, and I see you at the White House with 45. Anyway, maybe. Anyway, or whoever.
Black, what do you see? This is kind of a campaign to kind of clean up the image, or they go for that ring?
I don't like the fact they only give him a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Yeah, that to me, if I was Dusty, I wouldn't take that. Either commit me 3 to 5 years, or we can't do business. I'm just because basically what they're saying is come here and do, and it's almost like what happened with Washington. Not exact, but you come here, get things straightened out. Then we're gonna hire someone who we really want. So they probably got somebody in mind that they want. They don't want to come in right now because they think it's gonna be a bad season for us publicity. So they bring Dusty in for a year. He's got to stop being rented that way. He's too good of a manager to be rented that way. If you can't give me 3 to 5 years, I don't think you should have him, man. It's almost like, you screw things up, then you bring the black man in to clean it up, and then you move someone else in.
That's the first thing I thought about, the Obama kind of effect.
Yeah, and it's like, you keep, and he's too good for that. If it was a younger cat that's just really trying to get his foot in and get settled, I got that. But Dusty's been around long. If he's proven, he doesn't need that. From my perspective, I don't know, what he has in the bank, what's going on, but he should be able to land in a position where he's going to be there for at least 3 to 5 years and give an opportunity to really go get it done. They're looking to bring him in basically to calm the waters, basically move on from this season. Then at the end of the year, they're going to kind of revamp and do something totally different. And to me, that's not fair to him. Now, if he's happy with that, and his managers, if his agents telling him anything different than that, he's believing it, he should think twice. But if he's happy going there for 1 year and moving on, then that's cool. But I think he deserved to have better and be offered better.
Yeah, he's betting on himself, but you can't bet in baseball, right? So,
hey, all I know is this: you look at that roster. I know why he took that damn job.
Yeah, they got a monster roster, and they probably should. It's going to be Houston and the Yankees going head to head to try to get the World Series, because both of them have some killer rosters, and so they're going to be having some epic battles in this year in baseball. But yeah, maybe he's just betting on himself in that 1 year, that I can get it done in 1 year, and then once the dust clear, I can go for a multi-year contract. But I'm happy for him, but I didn't think that he would be the one to kind of clean up their image. And even if they care about cleaning up their image at this particular point, it doesn't feel like they
No. They're trying to win, bro. Without the cameras.
Yeah, they don't care about that.
Yeah. Let's go to the NBA real quick. Black, eye test on the NBA?
It's interesting. I was watching Philly the other night play the Lakers without, Embiid. And Philly, to me, is a team that it just seems like when they want to play, they find some things to do, and they can be effective. And they're not a bad team. Then you look at the stands, like, what the hell is going on with them? But I was impressed with that. I was impressed. Miami got something going on down there. Miami got something a little cooking. I'm a little surprised. I didn't think Butler was going to kind of go in there and make the change that he's making. But Miami's like they put something together. From time to time, Dallas shows, they have something. But I'm going to say this and get out the way. Denver, what happened to them from last year to this year? Like a totally different team. Man. It's like they're playing like they don't even want to play anymore. That surprised me a little bit.
Yeah, I think there's some adjustments in Denver that they need to make, because they brought one of the players that were hurt to come back. I think they're still trying to find themselves. They're still number 4 in the Western Conference at a 32-15 record. They won the last 6 out of 4 games. Utah is, there with winning 8 out of their last 2, along with the Clippers and the Lakers. I kind of see the Lakers kind of slowing down once we get past the All-Star break. The team that surprised me, Ice, is Memphis. Memphis is at that number 8 spot, 1 game under 500. And they're about 4.5 games below OKC. But Ja Morant and Brooks, the 2 young men, they are balling and doing a great job keeping that team afloat. 8-2 in the last 10, Ice.
Yeah, they are, and I think it's good for them to grow. I mean, I don't think they're gonna really, blow anybody away. They could probably surprise some people, but when we get to the playoffs, I think it's just kind of a one and done if they make it. I think it's good for morale and what they're trying to build there. OKC is the 7th slot. It's nice considering what they're trying to rebuild too. But when we look at it, you look at the Lakers and the Clippers. And I told you, I've seen the Clippers 4 times within the last couple of days, man. And even with all of their pieces, man, Kawhi Leonard is just showing me things. You have shooters. They come to play. And I'm telling you, I like Lou Williams. I love him. But Montrezl Harrell, bruh, is the sixth man of the year. That dude is a monster from the Ville. He is balling, getting it in.
So not Lou Williams, is Montrezl?
Man, this dude is averaging like 19 points a game. I mean, and
Off the bench.
Off the bench, and then like almost a double off the bench. He's amazing. Also too, when you look at that East, it's all Milwaukee right now. But you look 2 through 6s. The only difference, there's only 3 games that separate the teams from the second slot through the sixth slot. Again, I told you before, and I think he's debuting tonight. The Pacers are in the sixth slot.
Yeah.
And Victor Oladipo is back. They're gonna have minute restrictions on him, but watch out for them. As you mentioned, y'all had to come back off that Jimmy Butler stuff. Because you can say if you want to, love him, hate him, he may not be a leader, but when it comes to the postseason, Jimmy Butler can show up. As Philadelphia, they could use somebody like that. Toronto, I'm surprised by that, but we'll see. We'll see. You know, everybody's playing games right now, and again, even though Kyrie's been in and out, Brooklyn's in the 8th spot in the East.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how the hell they get in the 8th spot. That's what I've been trying to figure out. Come on, Chicago. This is the first time I'm rooting for the Chicago Bulls.
Kyrie's not here, but guess what? We're in the 8th spot. We're going to make the playoffs.
Come on, Bulls. I mean, come on, man. Like, Brooklyn?
Ouch.
Come on, man. How the hell that happened? Wow.
I love it.
All right, we got a couple of minutes left. Any other things in the NFL? I mean, the NBA, Black, and the eye test. I'm sitting here watching Brooklyn and Detroit now in the fourth quarter. How the hell is Brooklyn getting it?
Well, I mean, sticking with Brooklyn, man, they're a young team. They weren't bad last year. I ain't like the fact that they got rid of Russell, but they weren't bad last year, and they're coming along. I think, to me, I watch teams when they play them, and I saw this last year in the playoffs. Teams try to punk them a little bit. And they got to find a way to kind of, not be pushed around a little bit. I think when they get them, they're not going to have a bad squad, but then they're going to speak of getting punked. Well, unless they're going to be coming back, next year? The big baby.
KD? Yeah.
KD. So there you go.
All right. We're going to talk some NCAA basketball. I just got a chance to watch DePaul and Seton Hall tonight. It was a good game. DePaul is some team to be reckoned with. Hopefully they can get enough wins to get in the tournament because they gave Seton Hall all they can handle tonight. But we'll talk some NCAA basketball. We'll talk a little bit about the NBA. We'll talk some boxing and some NFL talk. We talked about the teams that did make the playoffs. What do they need to kind of didn't make the Super Bowl? What do they need to get there? But we will catch up with you on our podcast on Blog Talk Radio. We will see you in a bit. Take care.